of AI Act, we automate AI Act compliance, and in particular compliance with European AI Act. And I'm going to be honest with you, for many founders, AI Act as any compliance sounds very boring. It's something that you think you can deal with later, except there is no later anymore. This is a binding legal framework. It's already been enforced since 2024. And if you're building AI and have one European customer, or at least one person who's using your data in Europe, then it means you have to comply. So it doesn't matter if you're a two-person startup in Maidstone or a scale-up in London raising your Series A, the same law applies to all of you. But first of all, yeah, let's talk numbers. So the maximum fine for AI Act, and you really have to mess things up really badly for this, is 35 million euros. We are looking at August 2026 deadline, and enforcement begins for high-risk systems, and a lot of companies fall under this category. But most importantly, Europe has started enforcing this already, not waiting for the deadline. We received a request now. If you are applying for any European funding, any grant, then you have to have proof of your compliance. And you have to deal with over 100 compliance evidence documentation. You have to combine them in a nice binder, and you have to have it ready in case someone asks. And this someone can be your auditor, it can be an investor, it can be a regulator, or someone even worse. So today we're going to talk about what AI Act actually says, what the timeline, what's the reality check, and what it means for startups, and most importantly, the practical questions that apply to you guys. So basically the law says that the riskier is your AI system, the stricter the rules. And if you know your risk area, then life is going to be much simpler. For example, a spam filter or recommendation system or a chatbot is not treated the same as HR scoring mechanism using AI. So there are 4 categories based on your use case, and let's walk them down really quickly. Unacceptable risk, completely banned right from the start. What it includes: social scoring, subliminal manipulation, certain biometric systems. If you're building this, then stop. It's much cheaper. High risk, that's the heaviest regulation, and to be honest, most of the companies we are working with, they fall under this category. So this is everything in finance, in employment, HR, credit scoring, education access, critical infrastructure, biometrics, less risky. Heavy regulation, you need risk management system, data governance, technical documentation. That's our most painful step. Login, transparency, human oversight, everything, and yes, post-market monitoring. So evidence at every stage is required. Limited risk is chatbots, emotional recognition, deepfakes. If you're doing this, don't do this. Main requirement is transparency. So basically you have to let your customers know that they're dealing with AI. And minimal risk is everything else: spam filters, video gaming, recommendation systems like choosing your next vacation. If you're doing this, you are in the clear, you can live happily. So the critical action item, you need a formal risk assessment. So document why you think you are classifying yourself as a high risk and not minimal risk, because that will be defining your whole strategy. And eventually, if you are, someone comes to you and asks retrospectively what evidence you have, if you misclassified your risk, you have been operating without proper compliance, and that's a penalty. So, sorry, we went through all this very quickly. Yes, so just to show that this is not a new regulation, this AI Act itself entered into force in 2024. In 2025, in February, there was a prohibited systems ban, so we know what we're dealing with. In this August, everything related to high-risk systems is going to be enforced. And in 2027, rest of us, but I do not recommend delay 1927, because as I said, they are asking questions now. So official deadline is in August 26. And building compliance takes up to 12 months, 6 to 12 months. And enterprise clients are already asking, competitors are already preparing, And investors are also asking questions. So real deadline is now. So who must comply? Simple check. Do you sell AI products in Europe? Do European users use your product or use your AI? And does your AI affect people in Europe? So if you say yes to any of these questions, then you must comply. And location of your head office doesn't matter. It can be UK, it can be Ukraine, it can be USA. Really, the same law applies to everyone. Now, I think I will save you some pain, and I'm going to list a few mistakes that founders make constantly. First of all, we are a small startup, regulators won't care, it's just for OpenAI and for Google and for Meta and for Microsoft. That's not true. There is no exemption in the law that says, okay, only companies up to this revenue level must comply. You have to comply even if you have one product and one user in Europe. So, and that user is paying. And actually, startups make it much easier target, because imagine fighting in the court with Google. That's going to mean years. And for startups are easy targets, because you can quickly win, quickly prove your point that you are, the European Commission is taking it seriously, and there you go. So most importantly, enterprise clients will know that you failed. Investors will know that you were having problems. So that means a lot of lost opportunities. Mistake number 2, and we get a lot of questions about this. We use AI as a tool, it's not our product. Again, super simple test. Take a look at your product. Take AI out of the perimeter. And does your product still work? Does it provide value for your clients? If not, that means AI is the core of your product offering. And if yes, then probably you are still using AI as a tool, like a chatbot. That means you are not exempt, but it makes your life much easier. And mistake number 3, we will add compliance when we raise Series A, when we have time, when August comes, maybe European Commission delays it. It will not be happening, because the AI Act requires continuous compliance at every stage. So that means that we'll refine your documentation about your data policies, usage of data for your AI training during development phase, during your validation, of course during post-market. You cannot reverse engineer compliance documentation. It's the dead end. It's like trying to add foundation to a built house. Another question, and we are trying to cover that as well in our product. This is just another GDPR. We will just hire some lawyers and we will be good to go. The key difference is between the nature of these laws. GDPR is a data protection problem. Basically, yes, you can bolt on legal work to deal with it. AI Act requires you to rehash and rethink your product development approach. It's a built-in compliance at every stage of your product development. So it's integrated. Quality management, risk assessments, technical documentation, post-market monitoring. It's basically rebuilding how you build your products. So what it means for startups, the timeline we're looking at is 6 to 12 months for compliance infrastructure. If you fail, you look at pivoting or reworking your product, which is expensive. 50K is the minimum price tag if you do it manually or using spreadsheets or consultants. And of course, every minute, every hour spent on consultants means 1 hour taken away from your product work. So, and the flip side is actually quite bright. If you have compliance, if you can prove your compliance, you win enterprise deals, you build customer trust, and you attract better investors, which is important. And of course, you create regulatory moat, which is raising in importance for a lot of bodies in Europe especially. So if you want to be ahead of competitors, yes, start early. So there is a bunch of requirements. Yes, it's first of all risk management system. It's like quality management but for AI. Training data, a list of requirements that you have to fulfill. You have to document everything, you have to label everything properly. Comprehensive documentation, that's what we do. So basically you have to preserve documentation at every development stage. You have to adapt documentation once you move from one stage to another. And yeah, so the law requires you to be, your documentation to be constantly updated. Now, automated event reporting, the data logs are important because if you claim if your AI says, for example, reject a credit, you have to have a clear record why it happened. So transparency is a must. Of course, for high risk, but less so for limited and minimal risk, is clear information: what AI does, how it does, what algorithms you're using. Users in Europe, and I think it will be universally applied, have the right to understand what your AI is doing that, and where is the border between AI and humans. High risks, important human control. Humans must be able to override every AI decision. Humans should be able to intervene in that decision. And when system alerts humans to the problems, you have to react as a human, not let AI react to AI problems. So it means no fully automated high-risk systems. And I know in the ideal world, AI must be accurate, robust, and secure. It means no hallucinations, minimal hallucinations. No, it's impossible. No bias, and it has to be secure. Everything has to be tested, documented, and verified. Now, before the market entry, you need to have a third-party auditor, a notified body. That's how it's called in the law, and Europe appoints this notified body by jurisdiction. And they will be able to verify compliance. They will be able to issue a declaration of conformity and CE marking. This is also required. So after launch, compliance doesn't stop. You have to document all the customer feedback, all the problems. You have to report these problems to the authorities in 15 days. If you use consultants, if you use spreadsheets, that's a very tight deadline. So it's an ongoing process, and that's one of the major requirements. So yeah, that's what you have to do: documentation, all the evidence, and continuous monitoring. Basically, it's impossible to do unless you implement your compliance processes in your development processes. So that's the key takeaways from now. Start now, do not wait until August. Delay is not happening, no matter what rumors are saying. And unfortunately, we have seen the evidence that it's actually speeding things up. You don't have to struggle with it alone. You can do it correctly in the right way if you start early and you have ample time to prepare for AI Act enforcement in August. And basically you have two options. You can delay everything until August, hopefully it will disappear or dissolve itself or resolve itself somehow, or you can prepare now. It's not costly, it's not taking a lot of time. Build compliance into your development process. Document everything as you go in any form, and use automation if possible. And that's exactly what we are doing at React. We have built our platform to automate up to 80% of AI Act compliance, and on top of it also GDPR and next DORA. So we are releasing our product in March next month. We are running a pilot program right now, and we are ready to customize it to your system. So you have address there. Please go ahead or talk to me after my speech, and we will be happy to walk you through how it works and how it's done easily without spending thousands on lawyers and compliance consultants. POV, I'm a former lawyer, so yes, I'm doing a bad job for my trade. And hopefully it resonates. If you are thinking about, yeah, we need to deal with it, come over to us, talk to us. We are at code T5 here until the end of the day, or just get in touch with us and we'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Round of applause. Okay, just do a very quick changeover for our final line.